everyone. It's Dr. Baby, the brown girl in Beijing, and this is the Diary of a Foreign Black Girl. Hello, friends. Welcome back. It is August 15th. Today's Monday. And this makes 12 days that I've been in Sanya. This is 9 days past, I think, 8 or 9 days past my intended leave date. So where are we now? What's happening now? Beijing has the rule of not being able to return if you are in an area that has one case or more. I don't even want to get into how many cases are in this city and this district or this province. So the plan after my flights have been canceled was to fly to another area where there were no cases that would accept me, quarantine there, stay there for 7 days, and then go to Beijing, where I would likely have to quarantine or do homestay or something. Time is something could have happened days ago, something could have happened yesterday, and I genuinely cannot tell the difference at this point. So I'm just going to say, at some point, I got a phone call and I explained that I do not speak Chinese. And so they texted me and it was a police officer from my local police station in Beijing asking where I was, if I was in quarantine, when I would be back in Beijing, if everything was okay. So I explained my situation. He said, okay, when you come back to Beijing, let us know, call your community, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. Then we got word, so for a period, commercial flights were down, flying out of Sanya, and the only way that you could get off the island was to go through a government chartered flight, or go on a government chartered flight. So we had an application process that we had to do, and in order for your application to be valid, you needed to be in a low-risk area, which I am, and you needed to have a valid nucleic acid test. We'll get into that, which I did have at the time of application. The thing with the application is your application is approved basically once you do it and you meet the criteria. However, if you do not get a call about a flight that day, then you need to apply for the next day, and so it keeps going. So did that to try to get into Beijing. There's a WeChat group for those of us who are in Sanya who are stranded trying to get back to Beijing. So we're just looking at all these different options, and everybody's hotels are telling them different things, and some people are able to get through to the Beijing government hotline, other people are not. So it's a lot of reliance on what other people are saying. I tried calling the Beijing hotline, tried to get an English speaking person to help, did not get through. So yeah, it's been a lot. Commercial break. So I think I said, but a while ago, somebody from the hotel texted me to start letting me know things, when things were happening. And because of the conversation that we'd had and me being directed to a person at the hotel who spoke English, I assumed the person that I've been talking to is this person who I'm looking at, if that makes sense. So anytime I would see this woman around the hotel, like I'm waving, hailing, hi, how you doing? Because we had been communicating on WeChat. So yesterday, we did not get tested in the morning. We usually get tested in the morning, we did not. The testing was moved to the afternoon, and then it was moved to the evening. We were told it would start at 9:30 in the evening. they did not come until after 10:30. I don't think that I actually got tested until 11 or shortly after. So today I texted a friend and I'm like, hey, are we testing today? She's like, yeah, let me find out what time. And it was only when I went down for lunch that I saw a few people in line getting tested. Now, before this, or before yesterday, we were doing batch testing. And those of you who are here in China, you know what that means. And so, you had 10 swabs to a tube. Starting yesterday, at least in my hotel, we did individual testing. And so that's what they were doing today. And so they had two different people. You had one person who collected your information and gave you your test tube, and then the other person who took your test tube and swabbed you. So when I looked, I only saw people who already had their test tubes. So I went downstairs and asked the security guard, and I'm like, can I get a test? And they asked, or the security guard asked, and they said they didn't have any more. Awesome. I mean, I know the answer to this question already, but why would you come to a place that has, how many people are here? Like that's information that is easy to ascertain. Why do you not have enough for every person in the hotel? Anyway, so I go and get my lunch. I text a friend and I'm like, hey, I came downstairs and testing was already done. They did not have enough for me to get tested. Will they be back? Is there somewhere else I can get tested? She's like, okay, let me find out. So later she texts to say, you can get tested at this place starting at 3 o'clock. Okay. So 3 o'clock comes, I go downstairs. So I see friend. She's like, where are you going? I'm like, oh, I'm going to X, Y, and Z to get tested. She's like, huh? You didn't get tested this morning? So now I'm having like a moment. Because I'm like, we have just had this conversation. I did not get tested this morning. So I'm like, no, I came downstairs and it was done. They didn't have any more, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry I didn't tell you. Like, it's okay, I'm going to go get tested now. So she's like, well, let me call. I'm like, what? So she calls and finds that testing centers are closed. So I'm like, okay, I won't get tested. And this is day 12, so this is the second day that I have not been tested in the 12 days that I've been here. And we'll come back to that. So I'm like, okay. So while she was finding this information out, we were coming down the escalator. So she says, you know what? There's a group chat that you can join for the hotel. And that'll have the information in there. She's like, I just need to add your WeChat. I'm like, you already have it, right? So I showed her the conversation. She's like, this is my assistant. And she's not, like, in the hotel. What? Okay. So, yeah, then I add her on WeChat. And, yeah, so that's that thing. Alright, so one of the policies that came into effect on the 7th, I think the information got pushed out on the 6th, was that in order to leave the island, we needed 7 days with 5 rounds of testing. And the testing, they specified testing should be done on day 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. So I had missed testing, I think on the 6th or on the 7th, I don't remember. But regardless, at that point, I booked a ticket for the 14th, which was yesterday. And that got canceled. So now I've booked another ticket for the 18th, and I actually have not done the math. So let's do that now. So I don't know. We'll see. So that was the initial policy. And then something else came out that said we need to have 2 tests within 48 hours. And the test needed to be 24 hours apart. So I don't know. And then the way that Sanya does testing, we've talked about this before. Sanya, first they marked it by the sample time, which makes sense. But the results took so long to come out. So your like 24 hours didn't always hold, if that makes sense. You could get tested at like 9 o'clock Monday morning, and your test would not be, or your sample would not be tested until 4 o'clock Tuesday morning. And so at 9 o'clock, or between 4 o'clock, and then it could get tested at 4 o'clock, but the results won't post until much later. So you could actually get to like 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning and not have a 24-hour result. Like it would be 48 hours or 72. And then you find out later what time the test actually got processed after it's been posted. So it's, I don't know, I feel like there are some moving parts that are not really being taken into account. Like I'm hearing stories of people who get to the airport because like last night, it was not our fault that testing happened at 11 o'clock at night as opposed to 10 o'clock in the morning. And so results weren't posted yet. And people who had flights, who booked flights, whose flights were not canceled, they couldn't leave because the results hadn't been posted yet. And it's just like, that's not our fault. But these things are not being taken into account, I feel like. So yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm not stressed. I would like to be back before the start of the school year. I should have been back, like today was the day that we were told to be back. And obviously that's not happening. I would like to be back before the end of this week. That would be fantastic. Even if I have to quarantine, being in Beijing would just be better. So yeah, I guess that's it. There's literally not much else to say. I do not go anywhere. I'm not even sure if the hotel is still, like we're still under like closed management. I realized that I could not leave the hotel the other day when I wanted to go for a walk. I have gone to the pool, like I went to the pool maybe yesterday, who knows, maybe the day before. And within 30 minutes, like I went to the pool, immediately went into the pool, came out, hit the lounge chair, and eaten alive by mosquitoes. I had welts. My arms, my back, my legs. I counted 18 or 19 welts from the mosquitoes within 5 minutes of being out of the pool and on the chair. Like I could not. And I said, okay, well, this is my last time at the pool. Like I can't. So I've just been going out on my balcony, which I'm very, very grateful to have. And just taking in the ocean. I can hear the waves. I can see it's really beautiful today. I actually tried to take the camera outside, but it's cool in my hotel room. And outside is warm, to say the least, 30 degrees. So the camera fogged up. But yeah, this is, from where I'm sitting, I can see the ocean. And yeah, this is it until I leave. I cannot be bothered to go. I do enjoy the pool, but I do not enjoy being bitten by mosquitoes. So I'm not really missing anything. And I've also started packing in faith that I will be leaving soon. So trying to only keep out the things that I am like using. But yeah, so there's nothing really else going on. I eat 3 times a day. The hotel provides breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast sometimes might be a little lacking, so if, I miss it, I have noodles here that I can make. Try to drink water. I have my little bottle, so try to drink 2 of these. each day, it was easier to drink 2 of them when I was actually going outside. Like when I had to walk to get tested, that was my little exercise, and I would get through my water. Being here, I come from upstairs to the couch, maybe walk to the balcony, walk to the bathroom, little kitchenette area. Oh, so let me tell you, the IE that comes to clean the rooms. So we're good now. Before, because you know how you have the little tags, little door tags that say like either please clean up or do not disturb. So if I'm staying somewhere for like a long period of time, I would rather you come every other day rather than coming every day. Especially since I have to be in my room. I don't have to be in my room, but everywhere else is like hot. So the first couple of days, she, even though I had the sign out that says do not disturb, she would still come in. She's like, hey, you want me to clean? I'm just like, it's okay, you don't have to. And so there was one time she asked me, well, do you have trash? I'm like, yeah. So she took out the trash. This is when I think I was going somewhere. So she saw me on my way out, and I was telling her she didn't have to clean. She was like, do you have trash? Yes. So she took out the trash and then cleaned. But now she respects the sign on the door. So if there's no sign, she comes in. If there is a sign, she does not. But yesterday she came to clean, and I asked her for, because they give you 1 green tea bag, 1 black tea bag, 2 packets of granulated sugar, 2 packets of brown sugar, 2 packets of coffee, and 2 packets of coffee mate. And they also give you milk for breakfast, little like box milk. I drank like 1 when I had some Oreos, and I realized that I really don't be drinking milk like that. I only use it for cereal and for baking, and for tea. So I asked her if I could get more sugar and more tea bags so that I didn't have to wait until she came around to have tea. And so she gave me like a chunk of tea bags. I say a chunk, like 5 or so. She gave me tea bags, and she gave me some sugar. So while they were cleaning, I opened the sugar packets and put them into a cup and sort of covered it, and that would be like where I would scoop sugar out of. And so she saw, as she was leaving, she saw that the packets were gone. And I don't know if she saw, she must have seen the cup too, because it would have all been in the same place. And she, bless her heart, called out, she's like, ni hao! And she shows me more packets of sugar that she brought. I'm like, but she's so sweet. Anytime she sees me outside of the room, she's always smiling. At one point, maybe when I left the room yesterday or the day before, I walked out of the room and I'm facing my right, and I hear ni hao, and I jumped because I did not expect anyone to be there, and she was just so tickled. She apologized for scaring me, but she's so sweet. The staff has been really, really nice here, even though I feel like I've been a little catfished. But no, the staff has been really, really sweet. And a lot of people, honestly, have been nice during this entire situation. I have had a few people that have been frustrating to deal with, but you know, it's outweighed by the fact that a lot more people have been nice and compassionate. So I'm grateful for that. I've been able to do some stuff for work, and it's been nice not having obligations, not having to do very much, and not having to like see a lot of people, and especially right before school starts, having to people a lot and just not feeling like I've rested. So, you know, yes, it sucks that I'm not home, but it's also a little nice to have actual peace and quiet. There's not a cat meowing in the corner for no reason. You know, there's nobody calling me to remind me of a meeting that I have or a commitment that I've made. So, and it's also nice to have been able to do things virtually. So yeah, I don't have much to complain about, honestly. So I don't know when I will update this again. But until that time, see you. Hey guys, so part 2 of day 12, which is August 15th. Earlier I mentioned not being able to get a COVID test, and not being able to get a COVID test twice. So, shortly after I made the first recording, I was, like watching Kim's Convenience on Netflix maybe, or doing something else, who knows, and got a call from the lady who I thought I had been speaking to, or thought I had been texting. So I got a call from her, and she was like, I'm gonna get a car to take you to the hospital to get your COVID test done. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? So she said, you need to be downstairs in 15 minutes. Less than 10 minutes later, she calls me, come downstairs. So I'm like, okay. Go down, and it's me and another lady, older Chinese lady. We're gonna go get our tests. So the driver pulls up, we hop in the car, and the hotel staff member, she says to me, you may have to help her, referring to the older lady, you may have to help her find the test site, just because she knows she's older. I'm like, okay, like I have to look out for her. So we get in the car, we are barricaded in, like our streets are barricaded in. So we get to the entry point or the exit point, and for whatever reason we had to turn around. So the staff member that was driving us, he couldn't drive us anymore, so we had to find somebody else. Got out, got to the hospital, and they were stopping testing at 6, and it was maybe 1:45. So we hop out, we see where the testing site is. This older lady that I'm supposed to be looking out for and helping her get to, sis starts running, and I'm like, it's not a race, there's nobody here. It was so funny, and it was so cute. She still had to stop because she had to scan the QR code, but it was so cute. So we had to walk past, and there was literally nobody there. So we got tested in like 2 minutes, maybe. And yeah, got back to the hotel, and I just wanted to share that because I didn't want to forget, number one. But number two, I just, yes, I'm in this situation, and yes, generally, like all around, it is an unfortunate situation. But I've really been so blessed while being here. And I know I've talked about, not really having any complaints before. But just in those small ways, like I feel thought of and I feel remembered, especially by the Lord. Like, she didn't have to arrange a test for me. If I didn't get a test, I didn't get a test, She didn't need to, and I didn't ask her to, but she did. And it was nice. So, just wanted to share that. May it be, a source of encouragement for somebody out there who feels forgotten or who feels maybe sort of invisible. That's a trigger for me, feeling invisible or left behind, not thought about, or like an afterthought kind of thing. So if there's anybody else out there that feels like that, let that be a blessing for you, that you are seen, you are heard, you are remembered, and you are taken care of. Alright, I'm gone for now. I don't know when I'll be back, or if I'll be back. So, XOXO. Hello, everyone. Today is August 20th. Yes, Saturday, August 20th. I have been in Sanya since Wednesday, August 3rd. Yeah, hopefully today's my last full day in Sanya. So let's talk. Some things have happened since the last time I thought that it was going to be the last time. I had to move to a new hotel for reasons unknown. Speculation is that they wanted to get everybody that needed to leave in one place. I guess make it easier. Or they just felt like it. I don't know. So yeah, I'm in a new place. I'm at the Hyatt, and it's nice. the room is really nice. It's a city and mountain views, so no more beach views, but that's okay. Yeah, the hotel is nice. And the room service is good, really good. So I've been enjoying food. Feels like good food again. The food at the other hotel, like, it was good, but it was like cafeteria food kind of thing. So you eat it every day and like twice a day for lunch and dinner, and sometimes breakfast. And so it's just like, it's just the same thing over and over. White rice, some kind of boiled veggie. So boiled cabbage or a boiled bok choy or boiled something else. And then 2 meats or a meat and a meat with veggies kind of thing. So it tides you over. But anyway. Yeah. Alright, so we moved to a new hotel. I initially had a flight scheduled for Monday. Then I found a flight for Saturday for today. So I kept the Monday flight, bought the Saturday flight. On our way here on Thursday, Saturday flight got canceled. But I still had the Monday flight. So just scrolling, saw a Sunday flight. It was business class, so I had to upgrade. But at this point, let's go. So bought that flight and let my community know. I don't know if we've talked about this. I don't know what we have and haven't talked about. And by we, I mean, I don't know what I've said. So in order for me to get home, at least 2 things need to happen. On my end, I need to apply to leave. 3 things. I need to apply to leave. I also need to apply to enter Beijing. And then in Beijing, my community needs to apply on my behalf and let the government know that it's okay for me to come home and do a home quarantine. So those 3 things need to happen. So on my end, I've been updating my application to leave based on the day that I intended to fly out. And of course, the day has changed so many times. But I also need to let my community know when I intend to fly out. And I've definitely given them at least 3 different flights. So they always ask, like, are you certain? So I'm like, yes. This one for Sunday, I'm certain. So yeah, got that. And hopefully it will mean that I can get back to work Monday, the 29th. I'm also kind of hoping that maybe, probably not though, I probably won't be able to go to church on Sunday, but I might actually be able to go to work Sunday evening to like start getting stuff ready. Anyway, that was Thursday, or somewhere between Thursday and Friday. It must have been Thursday because I was like, I need a backup flight. And then yeah, yesterday my Monday flight got canceled. So now I only have the Sunday flight because any other flight, or there aren't any other available flights until like Friday. And at that point, I can't afford to quarantine. I mean, I'm sure there will be grace, or I hope that there would be grace given by my job, given the situation that I'm in, but I won't be able to quarantine. I would have to fly somewhere else and quarantine there, which was a part of my original plan, or one of the earlier revisions of the plan, that I would fly to Tianjin and quarantine there and then go to Beijing, and it shouldn't be an issue. But I don't know. So I am praying. I have packed in faith that I am leaving tomorrow. I'm going to continue packing. And since I'm in business class, I can, have a little extra stuff, a little extra weight. So I'll have to try to cram everything into my little suitcase. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a journey. I have very much enjoyed the quiet. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before, but just not needing to be somewhere or be out, or just wake up, shower, get tested, get food. Like, those are my only obligations. Everything else is just Shannon time, which has been really nice. So I really can't complain. I would just like to get back to Beijing. So prayerfully, I am believing that I will leave this island tomorrow, Sunday, August 21st, 2022, the year of our Lord. So hopefully this is my last actual recording. I feel like I've said that at least 3 times. This is my last until I get back to Beijing, where we will wrap it all up. But shout out again to everybody that's been loving on me, that's reached out, and that they haven't really pushed. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you to Zion, to Sandra, to Daniel for helping to take care of Quest while I've been away. I appreciate it. I'm sure he appreciates it too, and he will probably miss you when I come back home. Yeah, y'all, it has been a time. It has been a time, but I don't know. The Lord is still good. Like I'm really genuinely not in a position to complain. He's been really good at helping me adapt and helping me, excuse me. Yeah, sorry. As I was saying, I'm really not in a position to complain. He's helped me adapt. Not be as anxious as I could be. And for those of you who really know me, know that I can get very anxious and overwhelmed. Like it can just be a lot. And I have had, I think, at least 2 moments where I had to just stop everything, just sit and just let everything out, because it was just getting so overwhelming. Because there was a point where, I may have shared this, where I was trying to get tested maybe, and couldn't. No. Anyway, there was a point where, trying to talk to different people. I did get tested, and trying to come back, trying to communicate with people was difficult. And there are, even when I'm using a translation app, there are times when whoever I'm talking to, they don't want to use the translation app. Even if I'm just I'll hold the phone up and be like, just speak into the phone. I'm like, just talk into the phone. And they just don't want to. They prefer to just sort of yell at me. And that bothers me. And so I've had an experience like that here. But honestly, this is 2.5 weeks of being here, I've only had maybe 2 times where I've just gotten frustrated and overwhelmed. For the majority, I've been able to just be relaxed, which is just sort of weird, right? I'm stranded on an island that is, I don't know how far away from my home in Beijing, a 4-hour plane ride. Yeah, and it's still, still a bit peaceful. But now it's just like, all right, that time is up. I cannot do this forever. Now, I mean, if I were in a position where I could work from home, or work remotely, hey, let's go. Unfortunately, I'm not. I do need to be present at work. So that's really my biggest concern, because everything else I've been able to do remotely. All of my other responsibilities, my unpaid responsibilities, I've been able to handle remotely. And even preparing for work, going through lessons that we've taught and modifying them to meet the needs of the upcoming school year, and revising lesson plans, stuff like that. I've been able to do that remotely. So it hasn't been I've had some productive moments. So, prayerfully, next time you see me, I will be back in Beijing. Ooh. Before I go though, isn't this just the cutest? It's a cordless phone. I have not seen a cordless phone in years. Literal years. But yeah, it's a cordless phone. And it's so bad that initially I was like, wow, we are living in the future when I first saw the phone. And I said, cordless phones are definitely a thing of the past. Man. Yeah, it's time for me to go home. Y'all be easy. So hopefully for the last time, XOXO, Dr. Baby. Alright friends, we made it to the airport, checked in. This was the business class lounge. Ate, watched church, boarded the bus to take us to the plane. A plane has never looked so good. Business class felt real good, was able to lounge back and enjoy my flight. And we are finally here in Beijing. Come on! Now it took almost 2 hours to get out of the airport. But that's okay. That is okay. Maybe more than 2 hours. I don't know. Had to get tested before getting out. These two were my rescuers, so shout out to them. They drove me home. And I saw Questy Pants, who was excited to see me. This notice on my door telling my neighbors to make sure I don't open my door. And the man who came to test me 3 times during the week. And then freedom! Well, as you can see, now I am back in Beijing after 2.5 weeks of not being here and being stranded in Hainan. What a journey it's been. Yeah. Coming home last night or yesterday, I was excited, but also a little bit nervous. It took me a while to fully grasp onto the fact that I was finally leaving the island and I was coming back home to Beijing. My mother got really happy. Both my parents did. But I was trying to be a little bit reserved just in case my hopes were dashed once again. But thankfully, everything happened as planned. I'd expected to be in the airport for a really long time yesterday, but it turned out to be maybe about 2 hours or so, or just over 2 hours. And I was home by 10. We landed just before 7 o'clock. And I thought, so I don't speak very much Chinese. I understand more than I speak, but even that is still very limited given the, I don't know what the right word is, the vastness of the language. When we got in, they checked us off. So we, we're in different lines, and there was somebody there with, I guess, the manifest of the plane, and they just checked us off and told us to wait. Our bags came, we got our bags, and people were trying to leave, and they were like, no, you can't leave yet, you have to wait. And there were maybe, it was myself, another family, and then I think a man. There weren't very many foreigners on the flight. And so one of the volunteers, he gets on the bullhorn and starts saying some stuff. And the only thing I understand is Mingzi, which is name. So I'm like, name of what? Are you about to call passengers individually? Because this could get chaotic. There are a lot of us. So one of the father of the foreigner family, he came and he was like, do you understand what's going on? I'm like, don't. I hear something about name, but I don't know. I think he found someone to sort of explain what was happening. And then I heard what the guy was calling, and it turned out to be districts. And so I'm hearing districts that I recognize. And that's what I shared with the father. But after saying the district, they said some other things. So I don't know if they were calling the street names, or family names, or what. Don't know. twice I thought I heard them say Haidian, which is my district. So I, like go up to one of the people, I'm like, Haidian? And he's like, Mayo. Howda. Okay. Heard it again. Haidian? It's like, Mayo. Like, okay. My phone rings. I answer. That's the other thing about this whole thing. I've had to keep like my phone on, which stresses me out. And I have to answer every call because it stresses me out. So I answer, and so of course the man starts speaking in Chinese. I'm like, I don't understand Ting Budong. But I hear in his background that he's in the same place that I'm in. So I'm like, okay, what's happening? What's going on? And finally we lock eyes with each other. And he's like, come. Okay, so as I'm going, the guy who before was like, Mayo Haidian, he's like, Mayo Haidian. And I'm like, he told me to come. Now y'all, get your story straight. So I go, they look at my passport, and I think my test results from Sanya. And then I'm able to leave. So I join this line of people that are going outside, and people are getting tested. So we're getting tested as we leave the airport. And there's this like long line of volunteers, and everybody is just wearing the same thing, which is the full like white hazmat looking suit. So you don't actually know who is who or what their function is. And so I'm walking out, no idea where I'm going, who I'm looking for, what's happening. I've been in touch with my community, and they had not given me the telephone number of the driver or the name of the driver, but the driver had all of my information and was supposed to call me, and so like I just did not know what was going on. And then finally somebody walks up to me and starts speaking, and I'm like, Ting Budong. And so he takes his phone, he shows me my name. I'm like, yes, this is me. So he's like, let's go. In any other country, no. Absolutely not. But, and in, what, in some cities here, maybe not. But in Beijing, let's go. So he takes my bag, we walk to this, like, van. Yeah, it's a van. And he's like, yeah, go inside. I'm just like, okay. So I'm texting my parents. I'm like, hey, in a van, took a picture. Do not know if they're taking me somewhere else or if they're taking me home. Gonna have to wait and see because we're coming from the airport. So after we get off the airport road and I see which direction we're going in, then I can better say where we're going. They're like, okay. Not much they can do. And yeah, staying in contact with my community person. After a while I realized, yes, we are going home. So they dropped me off. They walked me to my door. I was able to order food last night and able to order groceries this morning. So they did tape up my door yesterday or last night, which I did not realize. So when I opened the door for my food, tape came off. Whoops. But they'll tape it up again today because they have to bring me or give me home COVID tests to take. And so after I get negative results on the test, I don't know how many I have to take. I know I have to take one within 24 hours and one within 72. So I took one last night when I got in, waiting on the results of that. And then I guess the other one I'll take within 72. I don't know if there's another one I need to take because this isolation is 7 days long. And yeah, after I get the negative results, then I will be free to leave. So they have a note on my door for my neighbors to let them know that I'm in isolation, and they should help to make sure that I stay in isolation, which is fun to think about. But I have my groceries, like I have no need to leave. So the plan is now we're gonna clean out the fridge and the freezer, and we're gonna put up groceries and stuff and also I have work to do. School starts next week, so I need to make sure that everything is ready or is as ready as possible before I get onto campus next week. So this week will be a busy week, but I am happy to be home. I'm happy to have slept in my bed last night. Quest is apparently happy to see me too. As soon as I walked in the door, he just started talking and meowing and literally would not stop. Jumped up on the table and was like, pet me now. It's just like, please, a bag, give me space. He didn't care. And now my body is just, I think, sort of finally collapsing. I didn't sleep the night before the trip, so I didn't sleep Saturday night. The trip was on Sunday. Today's Monday. Today's Monday, the 22nd. Yeah, I didn't sleep. So, and I slept a little bit on the plane. And even last night I didn't sleep like fully, so my body is sort of, yeah, like I still have a headache from yesterday. So prayerfully that will taper off, and by this evening I'll be better. But yeah, it's just gonna be work, and cook. Thank you for sticking with me so far, and I hope that, you know, the saga has been, or has met your expectations, because y'all put a lot of pressure on me, like, I'm waiting for this vlog, I can't wait. That was a lot. And I mean, I know at least season 1 and season 2 of The Brown Girl in Beijing have been more diary style, so you're used to that, I guess. But that's, yeah, I didn't, as you realize, I didn't get to do much in Sanya because things went on lockdown pretty quickly after I got there. So yeah, the restaurants that I was told to go to, couldn't go to. The beach, couldn't go to after day 2. Just all the things that, you know, like I saw that I wanted to visit, couldn't do. So I don't know, maybe another trip to Sanya is needed post COVID, which I don't know if we'll ever get to, but yeah, it will not be right now. Gotta give it some time. You cannot go through this again. No thanks. Alright, so I don't know, maybe I'll see you next time. But of course, just in case, XOXO, Dr. Baby. Thank y'all for watching. As always, please make sure to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on. XOXO, Dr. Baby.